So, welcome Nikhil sir to Cybercast. This is a freewheeling cybersecurity talk show where we talk about cybersecurity and its subdomains with experts like you and guests like you share their experience and expertise to our audience, and which makes this cybersecurity podcast in the top 15% shared podcast globally.
Wow.
So, thank you very much for saying yes to this episode, sir. I'm very grateful to you. So, talking about your journey, sir, you are from an entrepreneurial mindset right from your when you were 16 years of age, and you founded a web development company, and since then took your path to web development and cybersecurity, then being a face on national television and debate shows on cybersecurity. So, throughout all these years, how do you see cybersecurity has evolved?
So, first of all, thank you, Shashvi, for inviting me for the show. And really doing a great job of creating awareness through your podcast, which is like contributing towards, we can say, creation of awareness and I would say decreasing the rate of cybercrime. Because about however you develop any type of technology, if there is no awareness, human error is the biggest loophole, and that is where I think you are targeting, creating awareness amongst human beings about cybersecurity. So, talking about my journey, yes, I started my journey when I was 16 years old as a like website designer, and from the web industry to the cybersecurity industry, it's a long journey. So, like I started with this website designing, and then other things. One of my mentor, Mr. Sachin Priyankar sir, he basically told me that okay, hacking is the new thing which will be coming in, and then you have to research about what is backdoor, what are viruses. And that time basically I was not having a computer also, and used to take pen and paper and write down whatever questions we had, and then whenever we used to go to cyber cafe or used to get any type of friend's home for computer search, then we used to ask all these questions to Google. So there is how it started. Now, talking about basically how this cybersecurity is concerned about individuals, or yes, it is applicable for corporates, it is applicable for government agencies and everyone. But about individuals, yes, people like you and me, everyone are using all type of electronic gadgets, or I would say digital gadgets, and everyone has some or the other pin code or passcode or whatever password, face lock, biometric lock, and all type of locks. Why these locks are there? To hide some of the other thing, which we should respect. That's your privacy. And because you have, I'll make this statement: whoever has this type of locks on their devices has some or the other thing to hide, or we can say to keep it confidential in other terms. And that is what privacy is, and that is how an individual is connected with this cyber security, or should be concerned about cyber security. Now, what are all the things basically an individual uses with their phones or personal laptops? Mainly financial things, the internet banking, e-wallet apps, what type of data they save, their credit card statements, debit card statements. Then we talk about, let's say, what all do we do on our phones? Like we click selfies. Every photo which you click on your phone, it is not compulsory that you share. So there are a few photos which you keep it for yourself, or you send it only to your loved ones or near ones or dear ones. Then there are contacts, there are SMS, and there is a lot of private and confidential stuff which we have. So we have a lot of things which may be scary if they get leaked, or if they get hacked, and they get viral. And that is how basically we all as individuals are connected to this internet world, and should be concerned about our individual security, and we can say our privacy.
That's exactly true, sir. But since if I talk about people of my age, like youngsters, people from 18 years of age to 22 or 23, school students, college students, they do not care. They don't give a damn about what they are sharing. They don't even, realize what can, how dangerous their data can be. Whatever they are sharing, like sharing their, chat screenshots on their story, sharing, their Paytm passbooks on WhatsApp status, showing off their money. And so how these screenshots and how these, the inside data can be proven dangerous for some individual like us.
So it's a really great question. Now, when we talk about sharing anything or clicking on anything without thinking, or sharing anything without basically thinking of the repercussions, all the results of it. So I'll tell you one of the case study here, which has actually happened, and it is already in media. So it's a quite old case study. So there was a case study जहाँ पे एक शादी का घर था. एंड वो केस स्टडी में एक्चुअली हुआ ऐसा कि एज यू राइटली सेड दैट okay, teenagers have a habit of showing off things over status, over like stories, and for what is this all for? Like gaining likes, gaining attraction, and gaining followers, and how many likes did I got, how many whatever comments I got and shares I got. But then what is the other side of it? तो वो केस ये केस स्टडी में ऐसा है कि बेसिकली ये शादी वाले घर में ये बंदा जो है वो हर एक चीज का फोटो लेके अपने स्टेटस में, स्टोरी में अपलोड कर रहा है, एंड ऑल द फॉलोअर्स आर व्यूइंग इट. ओके, आज हमने ये नई चीज ली, कल हमने वो नई चीज ली, and then taking selfies with that things and then uploading on it on the web. And one certain day he uploaded a status home alone, and उसी रात वो घर पे चोरी हो गई.
ओके, सो समवन वाज स्टॉकिंग, कोई उसके सारे डिजिटल फुटप्रिंट्स को एक्चुअली ट्रैक कर रहा था.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. And there's a case study which happened in Mumbai. So it's a published case study. So this is how dangerous it is. Adding the second perspective to this type of thing, all the young people wants to be online 24 by 7. I'll just tell you one perspective of the consumption theory here. If you remember, few years before, we were using internet. It was not like that we were not using internet. But there was a period where we were using 1 GB of internet for the complete month, if you remember.
Yes.
And if I am done using my internet, मैं जाता था वो मोबाइल डेटा ऑफ कर देता था. And when why? Because my 1 GB would get exempted. It will get finished. सो अगर वो खत्म हो रहा है तो देन मुझे रिचार्ज मारना पड़ेगा, वापस टॉप अप मारना पड़ेगा. वो डर से मैं बंद कर देता था. I don't used to download anything which is forwarded or I know which is like of no not any worth. So Abhi, this transformation from 1 GB per month to 1 GB, 2 GB, 3 GB and unlimited data per day has created a lot of changes. So there is where all these teenagers, or you can say anybody and everybody, is on like this 24/7. एक तो अंदर रहते, फोन में रहते, या whatever they do with the gadgets. And talking about specifically the young generations, they all are again social media users. I talk to a lot of schools, colleges, teenagers, and then I ask always a question: How many of you are from on Insta, Snapchat, and all other apps? So everyone says yes, yes. So 90%, 95% of the audience is always there. May it be students, let's say from sixth standard, or may it be from a college going student also. Now, the next question I ask is why you all are on social media? Again, to then gain likes, comments, and to basically to gain attention. That's the true and factual answer. Now, let me put this in a very clear way. You know what is the strength of India? The strength of India is youth. And you know the number of young users throughout the world, Instagram से में सबसे ज्यादा यंग यूजर्स थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड कहाँ पे? इंडिया में.
India,
What about the other apps? India. What about the gaming thing? India.
India.
We
Even
should be
if,
proud
sir,
we have this
uh,
type of young audience.
uh, in my college, मैं अपने एक junior को देख रहा था, they were playing BGMI, which is actually banned in India. So एक ना दूसरे तरीके से they change their proxy settings, they change their VPN settings और फिर वो log in करके उस गेम को प्ले कर. So at the cost of their privacy, वो अपने personal pleasures को पूरा कर रहे हैं. So that how much तो क्या हम कह सकते हैं कि वो भी वी आर काइंड ऑफ गिविंग अवे आवर डेटा, यूजफुल डेटा इन इस सिर्फ एक गेमिंग प्लेजर के लिए.
Absolutely, yes. Yashashvi, how it is, the answer to your question is clearly yes. And when they are giving up their data, they are not only giving up their data. How this is a slow poison strategy, I'll tell you. So when anybody like our own Indian youth are basically engaged, or I'll say concentrated or lost in this type of social apps, or in this type of gamings and everything. So this is how it is a slow poison theory, that ये क्या करने वाले? It is a slow poison theory from the West that engage everybody and keep India as a developing country only. Everybody
Hmm.
here sitting, you, me, and all the youngsters aspire to become a doctor, engineer, pilot, some expert. But what if they are involving? What if they are investing or wasting their most of the time in gaming and all this type of apps? How will they focus? Then they
Correct,
say
sir.
I am not able to concentrate. But if you start watching a Netflix season, they are able to concentrate over the whole night. So here the question is of interest and not of concentration. And this is how the slow poison strategy is, that if you want to become some pilot or engineer or doctor or any type of YouTuber or expert, and if you are investing most of the time in all this type of distractions, how will our country become as a, like we can say, developed country with all these things? And to keep India as a developing country, only youth is the easiest target, I would say. And talking about answering your question about gaming, so when you say okay, they play it for their pleasure, so it is not only pleasure. When you play some games, and there are emotions attached to it, how I'll tell you, when you fire someone through the game, when you fight with someone through the game, the emotion of anger, it comes out. It is not only limited to the screen. वो घर वालों पे भी निकलता है बाद में. मैं गेम खेलने के बाद मेरा एंगर का इमोशन कम नहीं होता है. So understand that is also the disadvantage of it. Talking about the proxy, obviously people are using proxies to let's say you just took the name of a game and it is banned. When you say it is banned, people want to play it for, we can say, any cost, and for that they use proxy servers. Again, the plugins which they use, all the extensions which they use for proxy, are they really safe or not? That is really a question which remains, or which lies. And they don't verify it. They don't basically go and check if it is valid, invalid, if they have a valid publisher name or not. Now, there are a lot of things when you say about playing games which are banned, or like downloading apps which are not from genuine Play Store app stores. They come up with a link, and when you click on that link, you don't know what else is getting downloaded, because when you download something which is an unknown source, there is a possibility that there is also a stealth mode app or a hidden mode app which gets installed in your phone, in your computer, when you click on that link. And even if you uninstall the main application, the stealth mode application remains into the phone or into the computer and works as a spy application.
So this is what happens with with most of the crack version of any software.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Yes.
So, sir, we know that the most vulnerable part of our society is youth in terms of cybersecurity, in terms of any kind of digital privacy, right? And that many kind of initiatives is also on the run by government. On the ads on Instagram also. We see that there are many awareness workshops happening. Many people like you are keeping the flag high by spreading the awareness and all. So, what should be the first step we should take as an individual? हमारी पहला वो कौन सा step होना चाहिए to be, to be safe on the internet? So what kind of shift in mentality we should have? कि if I am opening any application, if I am logging into, or if I am simply creating my account in any, in any web application, so what should be our mindset at that point of time? कि अपना privacy we are, we are keeping our, ourselves safe.
Yes, yes. So, while you open any of the social media account or when you create your digital or online footprint, you have to make sure sensitive informations like your mobile number, first of all, that should not be public. So there is always an option to keep it only with you, only with your friends, or public. Now I'll tell you, even if you keep it public, there should be two different numbers. One which is used for your banking transaction, your Aadhaar enabled payments, or your PAN card, or your any type of like we can say verifications which is related to your majorly financial transaction. That number you should not do it public. So nowadays people have dual SIM phones and everything. So they should keep a SIM card which is only used for all these type of transactions, and that should not be public, because nowadays all the frauds which are happening with sharing OTP, or nowadays without sharing OTP also, are they are being targeted using mobile numbers. People call and ask for OTP, or people basically hack the phones and gain the OTPs, or do SIM swapping type of techniques. So that is also something which you should take care. Secondly, uploading or publishing minimum information, that is really important. Why you want to publish everything? Where is your location? Where are you roaming around? Like when you're clicking some picture, I've seen people clicking picture before having their dinner or lunch in a wonderful restaurant, but their debit card is lying on the table. There are some
Yeah.
identity cards is lying on the table. When they click a selfie, their their home address is viewed, or that location is viewed, or in background is there is some identification which can be used for any type of, let's say, transaction, or can be used as a validation question in any of the bank, or to fetch any information. That is really important. Then the use of password. Whenever we create an account, they keep a password which is easy. Using, there are social engineering techniques which, okay, I'll see, I know Yashashvi's mobile number, let me try a password as a mobile number. Or I will just I know who is your favorite animal, or which is your favorite car, or I'll say what is your pet's name, and this all information is easily available. Or your
Yes.
birth date, your
So your
birth date, that's
combinations,
also
yeah. So you can guess the combinations very easily. So
absolutely,
yeah, we
absolutely.
need to be, very aware of what things we are putting online. So
Yes.
okay. So these are all the things we talked about is of, awareness, prevention, and all. What I want to ask you is about your initiative, Cyber Secured India. So you are also a founder of startup, and you are having a very good name in the industry. So what triggered you the idea of Cyber Secured India, and under Cyber Secured India, what is your main purpose that you are solving and helping people out of it?
Cyber Secure India initially is started in 2014,
Okay,
and Cyber Secure India's main vision is to securing India basically from cyber crimes, and to decrease the rate of cyber crime in India. And what we observed here is there are gaps between awareness, and there are gaps in investigations also. So we targeted basically two, we can say, sectors of the society. First is law enforcement. So pre-COVID, we were only into the offline training part. So this is a non-profit company which is registered, named as Feather CSI Foundation, and its initiative is Cyber Secure India. We do like in complete 2022, we basically built up a community which is of now more than 1,500 people all over
great.
India and outside India too. which are of freshers, experienced people, law enforcement, and all type of mixed crowd. Now, the whole agenda is there is lack of training when it comes to law enforcement. They get like basically training बहुत जगह पे कम पड़ जाता है, or else even if they get trained, they are transferred to different departments. That's what their challenge is. So there is where we targeted law enforcement, and we are giving free of cost training to law enforcement people about specifically, and we keep their batches separate because there is a lot of confidential things which they want to discuss that cannot be discussed in front of public. And then we do 2 months batches, basically having a lot of digital forensics insight and perspective to the complete program, and it's a complete certification program. They get certificate also out of it, and that helps to investigate cases. So when a investigative officer from a police station or from any of the law enforcement agency is well aware about the investigation techniques which are used into the industry. So, to bridge this gap, also how hackers act into the real world, that also we basically train them, and it helps basically to investigate cases. It helps to detect the cases, and that is how it makes a huge difference. Now, talking about the open internship programs which Cybersecure India provides to a lot of college students, corporate people, and freshers and all type of experience. So there are people, students who don't know what is cybersecurity and are eager to learn about cybersecurity. There are students who know what is cybersecurity but don't know actually the path where how to start, like from which book to read, which course to do, and everything. And also there are a lot of institutes which are really providing a wonderful cybersecurity course, but their fees are really high, and there are
Yes,
people who cannot afford it completely. The second part is, even if they afford it, they do that complete course. So there is always a gap which is between the academics and the industry. So academics always, all the basics are covered, which are really important, but into the industry there are new type. While we are discussing this subject, there is a new type of attack which is coming in, and this is how fast this cyber thing is growing. So cyber secure India is trying to bridge this gap and to help the students to build their career. So whenever they are out of their colleges or their curriculum, they are not freshers. So they are trained with this type of training and internship program, and the whole thing, it is like run throughout through contribution of a lot of people. So we have empaneled speakers and empaneled mentors. बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं, and they are contributing their knowledge as a speaker to the community. बहुत सारे लोग आ रहे हैं and guiding the students for creating the projects which are industry problem solving statement. We have analyzed banking fraud होते हैं, तो आरबीआई के पॉलिसीज में क्या क्या लैक्यूनाज है, या पॉलिसीज है but people are not using it. Then what are the like policies which are given by the we can say certain computer emergency response team India, and are they followed or not followed? If not followed, like we are creating some products out of it, services out of it, and also like involving students to be part of it, involving the students to be part of cyber investigations, VAPT, and all other type of ransom investigation and all other type of projects. Also, we all these things are done by signing NDAs. Even if there is a law enforcement people, if they need help, we do give help to them also, and majorly training. So this is the whole agenda, and not only in India. Now people have connected from all the globe. So there are
that
different continents where people have connected to us.
that's so great, sir. That's
Wow.
truly amazing. What you are doing under cyber secured India. I'll come
Yes,
to that
and
question.
basically the real vision is to make this. We are going towards digital India. There's no doubt in it. But we
Hmm.
should also go towards digital secured India, and that is what the major vision of cyber secured India is, to make India cyber secured and digitally secured. That is what I can say.
So you also help victims who, fell victim to cyber crimes. So you also, so if they reach out to Cyber Secured India, so you also help them getting out of that.
Yes, so see, I tell you, there are few things. Yes, people do call us. We get a lot of calls daily, and soon we are launching our incident reporting portal also. So where लोग होते हैं कि वो शर्माते हैं, पुलिस स्टेशन नहीं जाते हैं, because there are a lot of types of cyber crime. What Cyber Secure India has done, divided all the types of cybercrime into four major categories. So what are that four major categories? I'll tell you. One, the first category is need. कैसे टाइप के साइबर क्राइम्स होते हैं? I'll tell you. When you say need type of cyber crime, so we say जॉब चाहिए. I'm need in the need of a job. और मुझे लोन चाहिए. I'm need in the need of a money. So there is where basically need category comes in, and people fall prey, or people get victimized into loan fraud apps, into job like fake job portals and everything. Then there is something called as greed, second category. लॉटरी लग गया, फ्री गिफ्ट मिल रहा है, फ्री वाउचर
KBC.
पॉइंट्स मिल रहा है. यस यस, केबीसी टाइप ऑफ थिंग, या गिफ्टिंग, या लॉटरी स्कैम्स, or crypto scams nowadays. Greed. Uh, then the third category is, I would say, lust. People get prey to a lot of
Honey
fake dating
trappings.
apps, honey trappings, or sextortion type of crime, where there is a nude pre-recorded video, someone is calling and playing, and then your face is captured and the whole screen is captured, and then basically you're blackmailed with that complete video. Pay so and so rupees or dollars, or it will be published on YouTube, it will be sent to your friend list, and whatnot. So there's the third category, I would say, is lust under sexting and sextortion, and all type of honey traps, and all type of other traps. That is what I would say. And the fourth category is threat. That is really important. So लोग फोन करके डराते, आपका एटीएम कार्ड अभी बंद हो जाएगा, योर सोशल मीडिया अकाउंट विल बी क्लोज, योर बैंक अकाउंट विल बी क्लोज, आपके आपका बेटे का एक्सीडेंट हो गया है, देन सेंड इट द मनी हियर. I'm stuck into this country, send money not into this account but that account. So these are the major four categories, I would say: need, greed, lust, and then threat, into which all this type of cyber crimes are divided. And we do help victims into this. So let's say someone calls and says, someone siphoned my money, and even if I shared OTP. So there are basically portals where you will get a nodal officer's number. So what first thing you should do, go ahead and lodge a complaint on cybercrime.gov.in. Automatically सभी nodals को email चला जाता है, and then there is a possibility that it is blocked. So let's say आपके account से पैसा निकल गया और कोई e wallet को transfer हो गया. So then you should always see that there is a merchant name in the SMS transaction, पैसा किसको गया है, और वो नोडल को आप ईमेल कर देंगे, माय डेबिट कार्ड और क्रेडिट कार्ड एंडिंग विद सो एंड सो लास्ट 4 or 6 digits, and like this is the money and this is a fraudulent transaction, please block it. So if there is a possibility, they block the wallet, or else what criminals do is they keep on just hoping things. Then when there is a loan app type of fraud case, so we do help them, like say getting the application, investigating the application. So whatever we can help them from the front. Then there are matrimony scams, where basically single women are targeted, and they are given a lot of options that, okay, we'll take you to the other country, and then money basically is grabbed out of them. So in that scenario, we do track their IP address, try to track the IP address of the attackers, all the cyber criminals, and then help them into that conversation. And that IP is shared with the law enforcement agencies for further investigation.
So that's how the entire, from lodging complaint to working on it, the whole entire process works.
Yes.
That's fascinating. So, I got
Not only in
something.
cyber crimes, but also in traditional type of crimes. Let's say, even if it is not a cyber crime, but it is a crime like a we can say a murder crime, or a kidnapping, or a missing type of crime. Now these devices are used everywhere. It is not only
Hmm.
for cyber crime. So that
Yeah.
in that part also, like whatever help is required and is possible, cybersecurity India always contribution to that.
So, via this podcast, sir, I would, try to pass some messages to people with malicious intent with the with your help. So, can you please clarify that is there any means that somebody can hide their IP, be anonymous on the internet in today's era?
Yes, obviously, like VPN can be used, and proxies can be used, like darknet can be used for it. But see, when there is a technology, there is always a backdoor to it. That is what I say. And as you say, okay, there are people with malicious intents, and they feel that okay, that if I use this type of technology, I am going to like hide my identity. I'll tell you, a lot of cases there is overconfidence of all this type of cyber criminals, and there are cases where we analyze in job fraud cases more than one. In one case, we analyze 200 more than 200 emails, but in one email, the original IP was disclosed because the VPN connection got dropped for that 2 seconds or 3 seconds. I don't know, but their original IP got disclosed. And also now India is working on the bill protection, data protection bill, where VPN again is a part. They say that okay, the Indian, if you are providing service in India, you have to disclose the identity. So that is something which is really important. Few countries VPN is banned. That is also a good step towards protecting cybercrime. Now, VoIP calls are being banned. So that is how police and other law enforcement agencies and government is taking their steps towards it.
So coming to the most asked parts, most confusing part, about any domain. So how to start a career in cybersecurity in 2023 for students who are graduating this year, or students who are getting into colleges, students who are passing out from schools, how they can start their career out of cybersecurity and how large this domain is.
You see, this domain is really large. I always give an example. First of all, you have to decide why do you want to get into this domain. Let's say I have a hobby of photography. I will not go and do a degree of photography. Most to most, I'll go on Udemy and I'll purchase a course of photography of 700 rupees or 1,000 rupees and I'll do it. Or else I'll go and watch some tricks and techniques of pro photography, or we can say digital photography, whatever it is. So that why should be very clear. And when you say how vast is the cyber security field, I always give an example of medical industry. Well, when I talk about medical industry, let's say you go to a doctor. Now it is like, or let's say you take admission to the medical field. At the very basic step, you are doing the general medical practice. Then you decide to become a neurologist, a skin specialist, or a ENT specialist, and there are a lot of specialization, a dentist and whatnot. So in cybersecurity also, you can start with basic CEHS, certified ethical hacker, and then I'm not saying to start with the certifications. More than certification, the skill should matter, the knowledge should matter. So start with free platforms like TryHackMe, Hack the Box Academy, CodeSwigger Academy. These are all the in YouTube. You can say Hackersploit. A lot of free platforms. Basically, you can start with, build your ranking. Go to bug bounty programs like Hacker One, Bug Crowd, and there are many bug bounty programs. So basically, start with this type of free things, and then decide if you want to do career, then go for certification and spend those $500 or $1,000 as a certification thing. Once you are done with your basics, then decide in which area you want to do specialization. So cyber has many areas, and connected to cyber, there's a field named digital forensics. It also has many areas, and its need basically is arised in the coming era because there are anti-forensic techniques used by cyber criminals to not get caught from the law enforcement agencies and the cops. So this is also a very challenging area which is coming up. So that would be my message: how you can start your career, or else you can join the Cybersecurity India free 3 months program. And that is how we cover all the basics, from introduction to operating system, to web application hacking, to mobile application hacking, to digital forensic investigation, and all to IT acts and laws. And then you can decide wherever you want to go or make specialization into. Practice is the major key, I would say. Certification, yes, it matters, but with certification, skill set and knowledge also matters.
Yeah, many people also, get confused between cybersecurity and VAPT. They think that only thing into getting cybersecurity is knowing penetration testing. So, what would you say on that, sir?
So VAPT altogether is a specialized domain. That is what I good. See now, when you say VAPT is not only for now web application; it is also for mobile applications. Going into the more details, what type of mobile applications, Android applications, iOS application. Going into more details of VAPT. VAPT is not only for web and mobile, but also for now network infrastructures, or now the new normal is cloud. Everyone is
Hmm.
moving to cloud. So cloud PT is a specialized thing. EC Council recently, in last year only, started a course about cloud security, and like cloud, which includes cloud forensics techniques, and everything. So VAPT is not just cybersecurity is not just VAPT, but beyond that, that is what I will say. Then there are a lot of things like a SOC, the Security Operations Center, that is altogether a different type of field. Then when you come to digital forensics, malware analysis is there. So there are a lot of type of profilings which happen. VAPT is not only about a web application or mobile application; it is also network, or we can say security operations center. It's a huge thing now. They are completely outsourced. So there are different wings when we say, or branches and sub branches of cybersecurity. And like red teaming is there, blue teaming is there. So there are a lot of options. So that is the reason I say to the students, like, always go and open an account on HackerOne or Bugcrowd and see, rather than this top 10 OAS, there are a lot of other vulnerabilities which do exist and are tagged under critical and high category. And that is what also you can use it. Also, there is a altogether a niche area called as cyber threat intelligence.
Hmm.
So that is also there. So what type of again expert you want to be, or in which field of cyber you want to do your specialization in? That is something which you have to decide. And for that, you can use a mind mapping technique, I would say. Okay, so let's say you say cyber security, and then circle cyber security, and there are a lot of fields, so circle that, and then which field you want to go, that is something which you have to decide. Then there is something called as why mind mapping is important, because जब भी आप research करते हो ना, then it becomes, I'll tell you, distract your research itself becomes distraction at some time. Because let's say you're searching about something about web application penetration testing, and then there is something comes up, pops up and says, okay, IoT PT, IoT के बारे में penetration testing है, या IoT forensics. So वो links आते रहते हैं. Then we go into that area. Okay, ये भी देखते हैं, ये भी देखते हैं.
Hmm.
So while you do research, make sure you're researching about a subject, and then if something other interesting pops up, just put it into a other folder, or some other we can say drive or path, where you can go and further research whenever you're studying that type of topic, and you will not be distracted from the research. Or else by doing this, you will end up researching nothing completely. Everything would be like thoda thoda sab ho jayega, but it won't be complete. So that is what we always say, that create a mind map and decide where you want to go.
साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज नॉट दैट हार्ड कि नहीं हो पाएगा, बट वी नीड टू बी स्टे कंसिस्टेंट इन एनी फील्ड. ओके, so thank you so much, sir. That was very lovely, and I feel very grateful for having you as one of my guests in this podcast. And as I always say, and I would say it right now also, that it is gets guests like you who who make this podcast special, who make this podcast stand out of many podcasts. And if I am not wrong, there are no such specific cyber security awareness podcast in India, based in India. So,
Yes.
and I'm always thankful to guests like you, which helps me growing in this podcasting field. So thank you so much, sir, for I'm
Yes, yes. Yeah,
blessed to
you're
have you here.
really doing a great job, Shri. I will tell my message to all the internet surfers will be like, rather than spending more time into unwanted YouTube shorts and reels, listen to such podcasts basically, which will enhance your knowledge, make you aware, and basically save you from being victimized, and for being from falling prey to a lot of cyber crimes. And as a responsible citizen of this country, you should be responsible netizen too. You should use your technology, your gadgets, your internet very responsibly. That is what I would really say. And with this digital India, we should create a wonderful digital secured India, a cyber secured India. That is what I will say. So thank you very much for inviting me and having me as a part of this podcast.
Thank you so much, Nikhil sir. It was lovely having you here.